Hello everybody and welcome to my channel, Sandra's Homespun Life. Please join me today in my kitchen as we make homemade pizzas. Okay, here we go. The recipe that I am making today will make 3 full-size pizzas. And I want to go over the ingredients with you real quick. We're going to use 6 cups of bread flour. All-purpose flour is fine. And 6 tablespoons of white sugar. 6 teaspoons of rapid rise yeast. A little bit of salt. I just kindly measured out in my palm, probably about a teaspoon or 2 of salt. And then 6 tablespoons of olive oil. And I filled my measuring cup up to about 3½ cups of lukewarm water. Now we may not use all of that. We'll start out with like 2½ cups of water in our flour mixture. And we'll see how it comes together. And if it's a little too dry, we'll add a little bit more till we get it right to the right consistency. And the right consistency will be when your bowl when your dough starts pulling away from your bowl, but yet it's still soft to the touch. You don't want a real hard, firm dough because it won't rise very good like that. I've found that a little soft dough is better, and you want it to come clean from the bowl. And if you add too much water, you can always incorporate a little bit of flour back at a time to get it to where it needs to be. It's just a practice of trial and error, but after once or twice of making your own pizza dough, you'll get the idea of how it should feel, and you'll be a pro in no time. Alright, so let's get started. Okay, so we're going to add to our mixing bowl 6 cups of the flour. Okay, now we're going to add 6 tablespoons of white sugar, and I just use a regular tablespoon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, next we'll add our salt, and I just kindly fill my palm up a little bit. Probably about 1½ teaspoons of salt. And with a fork and give that a little stir. We'll get that all mixed around. And then we'll add our 6 teaspoons of yeast. If you can find a place that sells your yeast in bulk, it's a lot cheaper than those little packets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, we'll give it another quick little stir. Make a little well in our flour here. Now I'm going to add just a little bit of our water for right now. And I probably used about 1½ cups maybe. Okay, and I'm going to use the same spoon I used for my sugar and measure out 6 tablespoons of olive oil. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, now I'm going to take you over to the stand mixer and we'll begin mixing this up. Okay, everybody, we're going to put our dough hook on and raise our bowl. Now I'm going to need this on speed 2. I have a Kitchenaid Mixer, and they don't recommend trying to knead on any higher speed other than 2. So that's what I'm going to get it to do, and I'm going to watch it as it comes together. And if I need to add a little bit more water, I will, or you know, I'll adjust it as I need as I go. So I'll bring you back when it gets to the right stage that it needs to be. Okay, my dough started to form a little bit, but as you can tell, it's plenty dry, so I'm going to add a little bit more of my water and let it go again for a little while. Okay, I'm going to add just a little bit more. At this point, you want to go kind of slow with your water because it can get too wet and moist too quick. Okay, I'm going to fill with the dough. It feels plenty soft. So I'm going to let this go for about 10 minutes. And I think I ended up adding maybe 2.5 cups of warm water, maybe close to 3. But I'm going to let this continue to knead, and it should start pulling away from the sides of the bowl. All this should start getting clean. But I can tell by feeling of the dough that it's the right consistency. So the rest of that's going to be absorbed into the dough. So I'll bring you back after it's finished kneading. Okay, everybody, our dough has kneaded for the 10 minutes. This hook out. And as you can see, most of the dough has come off from the sides of the bowl. That's what you want it to look like. And your dough is still soft. See how it springs back and how easy it is to push down? Okay, so I'm going to flour my surface here. Just very lightly. Okay. Remove our dough. Okay, give it a little turn. Okay, now what I use is a scale. And I try to get it as close as I can into 3 equal divided sections. And after I do that, I will oil me some bowls and put each section of dough down in the bowl to rise. So I'm just going to eyeball it starting out. And we can take from or add to as we need to. Okay, let's see what this one's going to weigh. Okay, that's 1 and 18, 124, and 118. So these two right here are pretty close to the same. So let's see if we can get this one back down closer to 118. There's 110, 112, 115, 16. It doesn't have to be perfect, just kind of eyeball it. That'll be good enough. So then this little piece here, I usually just take, if there's some left over, add to each one. So it brings that up to 119, 121, and 119. So that's going to be plenty good enough because those couple of digits between each one isn't going to make any difference. So I take each section of dough and just knead it back into a smooth ball. You notice how that dough's not sticking to my hands? That's the way you want your dough to be. Soft to the touch, but not tacky and sticky to where it's wanting to cling to your hands. Okay. Now I'll take my 3 bowls, lightly grease them. Got an oddball bowl here. It works just the same. And I'll place each section of dough down into a bowl. And then I'll lightly give the top of the dough a spray. And I'll place some cling wrap over each bowl. Now I'll tell you a little trick with helping your dough along. Well, it works with a convection oven, which is what I have anyway. While my dough is kneading in the mixer, and I see that it's finally come to the form that it needs to be, I'll step over to my convection oven. And I'll turn the oven on and push the timer for 1 minute. And I think the lowest setting on my oven when it comes on is like 350 by default. But I only let it run for a minute. So I'll set my timer. When that minute goes off, I'll shut the oven down. And I'll turn the oven light on. And that's just the right amount of heat to help your dough rise a little quicker without being too hot and cause damage to your dough. Because if it's too hot, your dough's just not going to rise. It's just going to more or less stay in a little ball. It won't want to rise and fluff up. So okay, I'm going to put these in the oven. With my pizza doughs, usually 30 minutes to 45 minutes. They're already doubled. You know, if you're in a cold climate, it might take longer. But if you try that little trick with the oven, that pretty well works whether it's cold weather, warm weather, or whatever. So y'all give it a try and see how it works for you. But I'll join you back here when the doughs have risen and they're ready to put out in the pan. I wanted to come back just real quick to show you the type of pans that I use to make my pizzas. These are probably about the best pans I've ever used. And they're made by a company called I want to come back for just a quick minute to show you the pizza pans that I have used for a good long time now, and they're probably the best pizza pans that I've ever used. And they're by a company called USA Pans. Now, I'm not being sponsored by them, but they have a good product, and I don't care to vouch for it. I don't have to have money to say so, because I won't do it unless I believe it. But I wanted to measure these real quick. And it almost comes to 15 inches. Now that fits perfect for these pizza doughs, but you can even get a little bit bigger pizza dough out of it. It'll have a little bit bigger round pizza, maybe up to close to an 18-inch. You can still use each dough up to that size. The crust will just be a little bit thinner. But I want to let y'all know about these pans. They're really good. They're heavy grade. They're made in the USA, you all. And I'll leave a link below in the description so you can find the exact pans that I have. Okay, everyone, I'm going to voice over for the rest of the video. Everybody started getting home from school and work. It started getting a little loud, so I figured this was the best way to do it. But anyway, our dough has risen, and so we're going to lightly spray our pan and start patting out our dough. Now from this point, you just start adding your toppings. Once you have all your toppings on your pizza and it's ready to go into the oven, you want to have a preheated oven of 425 degrees, and you'll bake it for approximately 10 to 15 minutes. Okay, here is my pizza after it's baked. This one was my third pizza. I almost forgot to record the video, so if it looks a little different than the one you've seen me putting the toppings on, that's why. I hope you'll give this recipe a try, and remember to check out my other videos, and please remember to like and subscribe. Thank you.